feast of the Transfiguration of our Lord, and we would like to reflect on the theme, face to face with Jesus. We are very much familiar with today's story, Jesus bringing his disciples on a high mountain. If we read the Gospel of Matthew, he often mentions mountains. Because in the Bible, if you talk about mountains, it is a place where someone encounters God. It's like, for example, when Moses went up to the mountain, he encountered God. It is in the mountain that God gave him the Ten Commandments. Another example is Prophet Elijah, when he was running from Jezebel, and then he went up to the mountain in Mount Horeb, and then there he encountered God in a very tiny whisper. In today's Gospel, we heard Jesus bringing his disciples on the mountain, and the disciples encountered God. First and foremost, they saw the mystery of the glory of Jesus. They have never seen it before because they see Jesus as a human being like us. But on top of the mountain, they saw how Jesus changed figure, transfiguration. And the transfiguration of Jesus did not only happen. The transfiguration of Jesus is related to our first reading. There was this prophet Daniel who saw a vision of a Son of Man who will rule the world with dominion, glory, and all the languages of different nations will come and adore him. We Christians believe that what Daniel saw in his vision as the Son of Man is Jesus. And in today's second reading also, Peter was recounting what he experienced on that mountain. From his memory, he recalled. He was recounting, telling what he saw, what he heard. What did he hear? He heard the voice of the Father saying, "This is my beloved Son, listen to him." So on the mountain, they have this very particular experience that strengthened their faith, that revealed to them who Jesus is. And when Jesus rose from the dead, he died and rose from the dead, there they proclaimed what they saw and witnessed. Because Jesus told them, "Do not tell until the Son of Man will rise from the dead." And in the second reading, that's it. Peter wrote it, experience, and now we are hearing it. How about us? Are we going to a mountain in order to experience God? Well, that's a possibility. Is Jesus bringing us to the mountain also? Like the disciples, that we may see his glory there? That is possible. But we don't need to go actually to the mountain to encounter the Lord and see him face to face. We just come to the church on Sunday, and here we encounter Jesus. We don't need to go up to a high mountain. Just look at the altar. During the consecration, the second part of the Mass, we believe that when the priest says, "Send your spirit that this bread and wine we offer become the body and blood of Christ," there happens what we call the transubstantiation. It's not transfiguration, because when you say transfiguration, figure. But when we say transubstantiation, trans, change, and substance. The substance of the bread, the substance of the wine becomes the body and blood of Christ. So when the priest raises up the body, the host, there we see Jesus face to face. When the priest raises up the chalice, there also is Jesus. We see Him face to face. It's up to us. How do we approach that mystery that is happening in the Mass? But we are sure that that is Jesus. Transubstantiation. We meet Him there. So we come to Mass in order to meet Jesus. Just for a while, of course. An hour, then the Mass is finished. But there's one thing more that where we can meet Jesus. At the Blessed Sacrament. Here, in the tabernacle. This small room here, there is a box there that is called the tabernacle, where Jesus is placed. He is there 24 hours. And anyone is welcome to be with Him. Just to see Him. Just to say hi and hello, I'm here. And talk to Him. Or much better, as God the Father said, listen to Him. So sometimes the Jesus that we put in the Blessed Sacrament is also exposed on the altar. And we call that Eucharistic adoration. The Eucharistic adoration is an extension of the Mass. It is a beautiful practice of the Church where we can contemplate, where we can reflect on, where we can be with Jesus. You know, recently, 2 days or 3 days ago, in Portugal, because now they are having the so-called World Youth Day. And Pope Francis was talking about the Eucharistic adoration. He said that this prayer of adoration, we lost it. Not so much people are going for Eucharistic adoration. And the Pope urges each and every one of us to restore this practice, prayer of adoration. Just being there in front of the Blessed Sacrament. That might be boring for us, but you know, the Blessed Sacrament is Jesus Himself, and there is so much power in there. And those who come to Him receive many graces. So today's Transfiguration reminds us of two things. First, we come to Mass and go for a Eucharistic adoration face to face with Jesus. Listen to Him. Tell Him what we want to tell Him. We spend time with Him. And second, just like the apostles, after their experience with Jesus, they went back to their normal life. We too, after we encounter Jesus, we go back to our own work. We go back to our own homes, to our own places, whatever, and do our daily life. But, like Peter, we should also remember what we experience when we are with the Lord. So face to face with the Lord and remembering what we experience with the Lord.